It's time to gather together. Hi, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round where we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 179. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, Letter from the Producer Live, Part 54, URL Update. Join us at Tokyo Game Show 2019. Announcing the Furnishing Design Contest 2019. Final Fantasy XIV teams up with Pusheen. Tales from Shadows updated. Shadowbringers Final Fantasy XIV original soundtrack out now. Developers blog and fan mail. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby, what's up?
Hi, Yelta.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome, listeners.
Welcome.
It is another great week in Eorzea. We both had a good week. I don't want to speak for Yelta, but we did some stuff together, and I thought we did really well for the things that we did this week. So, really to start off, just from a personal standpoint, I had a really tough week last week. I was talking to Yelta earlier about this, and I just really had a really tough week. And I would say if you have any bad time, reach out to loved ones, family, friends, if you're having emotional or any kind of things that you feel like you can't take care of on your own, reach out to somebody. And I did, and I got through some stuff. I got some really odd feedback on something that I think was uncalled for. So it threw me for a loop. There are boundaries. I put myself out here on a weekly basis because I care about the game, and I like sharing things about my personal life and my game life and things. But people are humans. Watch barriers, please, before you reach out and contact anybody. I think a lot of streamers have to put these declarations out because you sit and you watch a streamer and you think, hey, me and this streamer are best buddies now because I watch her every week or I watch him every Saturday. And you're not. So there are boundaries. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Final Fantasy XIV stuff. Anyway, I squeaked out a cap. Again, I was having like a rough weekend, and I managed to cap on Sunday. I had read earlier in the week in researching and doing notes and all that other stuff that many people are capping through the hunt train. And Sunday night, I was trying to get an expert done, knowing I would have to do another expert plus a dungeon on Monday to completely cap. And I happened to be in a zone where the hunt train came through. I don't remember the leader's name. I ended up getting invited to their party. My Senna knew the name when I said something. She managed to play Yelta on Sunday night. The baby went to sleep. She managed to play, and she got through Titania hard mode, and I was able to help her through that. She's like level 77, though. She's doing 74 content. God bless you, Senna. So I helped her with that, and then I'm hanging around outside because she's watching Story, and the hunt train comes through. And she's like, oh, I know that guy. He runs the hunt link shell, and he kicked me because I was inactive. I was like, okay, whatever, bye. I'm joining the hunt train. And it's like a machine. So the guy that was the head dude would go and find the next mark while the other 7 of us, and then whoever else is, hunting as well, are attacking the boss. And what somebody in our group would do, or several people, would type X in party chat whenever the one was destroyed, and then he would call out the next one. And it was on a roll, like popping. We were like the instances, and that's what's so great right now, Yelta, is because we have multiple instances.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could jump between them.
So they were like Tempest instance 2, Tempest instance 2, Tempest instance 3, Tempest instance 3. And then it was just like, you don't have to leave the zone. You just go to the crystals, go to the next instance, and kill another hunt. So it took me 30 minutes or less. It would have taken longer to get a Domino's pizza in 2019 than for me to cap tomes at that point. Plus, I was getting those tier 8 materia crack planicuster clusters. I don't even know what the hell their name.
Yeah, you're getting the hunt things too. The nuts. The nuts.
Lots of
Sacks
goodies
of
for
nuts.
for doing that. Sacks of nuts.
Well,
Yeah,
that
so
makes
that
me
was in the Discord today.
Well,
Sacks of
that's why
nuts.
so many people wonder why are people even running dungeons to cap? You know, people complain about running their dungeons every week, and it's like, why? Catch the hunt train.
That's true. So that is an option now. Once the instances are gone, I don't think it's going to roll as hard.
Yeah.
But then you also, which I think it's too clunky, I think, to jump worlds to do it. It's just not feasible. But I guess if you knew you had done a circuit on one world, you might switch to another world. I don't know how that would work in the future, but it's fast. So if you're bored of dungeons, you can check out the hunt train. I don't know where to go. I'm sure there's a Discord. Somebody can tell me the Discord. If you want to, somebody send me the Discord. I'd be happy to get that. Anyway, so that was really nice. And then I got finished on Sunday, so I didn't have to play Monday. I know that sounds bad, but you got to have a life. You know, there are other games. I, in fact, managed to beat. This is for like the 3 people who know what this is. I managed to beat Etrian Odyssey 1, the original, on that was on DS. I have it on, I'm playing it through my 3DS, but I managed to beat that. It only took me 7 years, Yelta, to beat this game.
I played one of those. They were fun.
They're great. They're dungeon crawlers. If you're unfamiliar with the
Serious.
Etrian Odyssey franchise, it is a dungeon crawler. I was listening to the music on YouTube at work, feeling nostalgic, and the first comment on one of them was, I've never played this game, but the music makes me feel nostalgic, which I agree. But the comment to that was, have you ever played a Sega game before? Or did you own a Sega Genesis? And the guy was like, yeah. Etrian Odyssey, at least the first one and the originals, not the unlimited edition. They remade 1 and 2, but the originals, they just have a Sega feel. And in fact, Phantasy Star and Shining in the Darkness, which are Sega titles, are dungeon crawlers as well. So my childhood dungeon crawling experience is on Sega Genesis. And I feel like it hits the same vein. So anyway, I enjoyed it. It took me 7 years, partially because when I started it, I'm a hacker, big hacker over here. I had an R4 cart, and I had it downloaded on our R4 cart. And then something happened. I think I lost my save, and I was like, fuck this game. I'm not going through 3 stratas of stuff again. It takes me too long. And then, like, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I was like, I'm bored. Let me pull up Etrian Odyssey. I guess I'll start from scratch. And I found the fucking save. So I told myself, do I want to do this from here, or do I want to start from the beginning? I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll go through the save. Why not? So I did, and then a year later, off and on, after having a baby, I got it beat. So I downloaded Etrian. Well, I didn't download it. I have Etrian Odyssey 2, and I'm starting it, which is dumb because I'm still trying to play Nier, but I did play a little bit of it last night, and I'm still loving it. I'm not going to do spoilers yet. We talked about, we'll do spoilers for Nier at some point in the near future, whenever, near future, when Yelta and I both are at a place where we feel comfortable talking about it in 5.1, you know, which is just around the corner.
It's coming, yeah.
Fast. But I've seen aliens. I've seen Yelta. I saw some head roll away from me recently, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I had to stop because we had to podcast. So I may go back and chase a head through a shopping mall or something here in a little bit and find out what's going on there. But it's fun. It's keeping me entertained. So like our good friend Alex at My Backlog Battle, I constantly add to my backlog of games. I'm too stupid to just beat all the ones I've got. I just have to add Etrian Odyssey 2 on top of the list. And I'm like, should I play Persona Q? Does that mean I need to play Persona 3, 4, and 5 if I try Persona Q? And oh my God, I'm a terrible person. Which is part of my problem with my mental health. So anyway, in better news, we did Savage last night. I thought it was a great night. I'll let you talk about some of it because I don't want to steal all your thunder. But Yelta played amazing last night. She did. That was not sarcasm. That was not sarcasm. She did excellent. E1S was a one and done. I know for many people it's like, that fight's a joke. But for us to have it one and done actually felt really good.
We had a pug, so that doesn't always help.
Thank you, Yelta. Shout out to Raven. Raven, I know you're listening. honey, bless you. I'm glad you're doing well after your surgery. We love you, and we're glad you're good. And I'm not happy that you weren't there, and I didn't want to beat it without you. But it would have been fun to rub in your face. But,
Feel the love.
You cut up. I'll give you grace this week. So we went and done that. That was good. We did have a pug, but the scholar was very nice, and he healed well, and he stuck with us through. No, we got a different pug. We did a pug on that one, and then we got a different one.
Yeah,
we had a tank on that
to
one.
Healer, so we had a pug tank, and then on the second one, we had a pug healer who was pretty good.
Who got gear? I needed on everything, but I didn't get shit.
I don't know. Did Dario get 2 pieces? I don't even think we wrote it down. Somebody.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't. If we run a pug and the pug is getting the gear, the Suicide Kings go out the window because I don't want to penalize anybody for that. Yeah. So we'll let it slide. So Dario, if you got every piece, good on you. Then E2S. I thought amazing. I'll hold my E2 thoughts till when you talk about it, but I thought it went really well. And that's really it. Just the normal shit. I don't even remember helping anybody other than Cinna, but I thought that was great. Oh, she got to the part, and I cried again because I love it. She was talking to Seto, and I was like, oh, you got to watch this scene because she doesn't know. She hasn't been spoiled on very much of it. Little bits. But Shadowbringers has so much that it's hard to get spoiled in every spot. People could have been putting pictures of Seto on Twitter, and she wouldn't have known what his relationship with the Warrior of Darkness was or anything. So that was, for me, it was a re-tear-jerker. I watched it again, and I was like, I love you, Seto. Oh. And then I got to watch her beat Titania and the whole Fail thing, and she was so shocked. Like, she was like, is she going to be the next king? And I was like, just wait for it. And she's like, what about my retainers? And I was like, please just keep clicking. It goes somewhere. Just keep going. She's that person in the movies. It's like, what's happening? What's going on? What's happening next? No, actually, I'm that person. That's just with the game. So she enjoyed it, and she was like, wow, that's big. And I was like, that's like one of 7 big things. We've got Vike, who's in our free company and is fairly new to the game, that has somehow blasted through all of the content, and it just finished Shadowbringers, and we kind of dropped like, so did you expect that ending there? Because
is that what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, tongue in cheek. Vi keeps going. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Well, yeah, 2.0 and 3.0 were kind of like, kind of know what's going to end.
Not super shockers.
And I don't think Stormblood's that deep. So anyway, Shadowbringers though throws some major loops at you, and I'm glad it threw Vi for a loop because it was fun to hear.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun to hear her experiences as a new player, and some of it's funny because she's over the last couple months referenced things that I kind of even forgot. Right? This game has been going on for a long time, and even in Shadowbringers, there's like bits I've forgotten. I've watched every scene, I read every line, but and some of it is open for interpretation too, and so. She hasn't sat and thought about it for 3 days like a lot of us did and compared notes. And she probably hasn't read what the Japanese, French, and German translations read like and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I would assume at that, only days ago you're avoiding spoilers. And now you're like, I want to read all the Reddit threads. I want to see what Ethis says and Anonymous says and all these others about what actually happened. We had a great conversation in the Discord about the Asians and, who they represent and who's the 14th and what's going on. And we got a lot more answers coming. I mean, this was just the 5.0. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 left to go. With 1, again, just around the corner. So, with that, Yelta, tell us what you did this week.
I pretty much just did last night's raid. I haven't capped in 2 weeks. I have vowed to get back on the capping train. I was kind of taking, I guess, a little break.
Did I tell everybody Yelta's terrible?
I know I'm terrible.
She's horrible.
I'm terrible. I'm dragging us down. We did get the speech that if our DPS doesn't go up, we're going to have to start replacing people. And I'm like, I guess I'll play the game and cap and remeld. And there was a lot of that talk last night too. We did go in one shot E1S, E2S. We did really, really good. I don't remember if you said the percentage we got to. We got to 6%. 6%. And we didn't even do a whole lockout. Again, again, I think if I would have been more eager, I think I played too much when Shadowbringers first came out. And I don't want to say I got burned out, but I leveled a lot of jobs. I learned all the fights. I farmed up the mounts. But if I was a little bit hungrier for E2S, I think I probably could have cleared it by now. It's not that bad, but there are improvements I can make, and I know there are improvements that, the rest of us can make to squeak out that 6%. My damage numbers are very low.
There were a lot of getting hit by what Mr. Happy calls the Zubats, the floating heads. Those will just destroy your DPS.
That's DPS down, right? Yeah.
When you get a stack of that, it takes your DPS down. And there were several with 3 stacks during that quietest phase. So that plus we had deaths, So yeah, it is a DPS issue, but it's also got to do the dance. I have to tell myself it's better just to ruin 2 spam and not have that than to stand in one spot and then get hit by the guillotine or get hit by a Zubat or something else that's going to just devastate my DPS. And it's a fundamental understanding of that. And I think last night is where it really kicked in for some, the dance is more important than the DPS.
Well, I think if we could get to quietus without dumb shit happening, and I think we're all taking our turns, maybe not all of us, some of us know the fight better than others, but I don't know all the bits yet very good. But if we could get to quietus phase without losing our minds and already getting wound up, then I think we would, it doesn't seem that bad. I keep thinking,
I can't tell you how many times last night we wiped at the second set of flare, and really just after. And it wasn't because of prey. I think it was just there were other factors that were leading up to it. It wasn't a healing problem. It was more of one time I got out too early. I think one time somebody else got it too. I think several times somebody else got out too early because there's this anticipation okay, we're almost to the last bit. I got to move. I got to move. And it's just a more comfortableness with that last 3 to 5 minutes of that, probably really the last 2 to 3 minutes of that fight. Because once you stand in your puddles and you do get through that, you're done. It's quietest time, right? It's time to do that last final dance. And the fact that we got to 6% with that nervousness, the stacks, the death, I think it could be doable. Like Yelta was saying, there's tweaks we could do. There's some materia tweaks I can do. There's another week of gear getting. I think I'll have pants next week. Potions, I doubt anybody was drinking potions last night because we weren't expecting to clear. I think we were expecting to get that learning just on the last one. And when we tasted a clear, it was already almost... I think that was the next to last run or something.
Yeah, it was already 11 at night. We'd already been running for 2 hours, which I know doesn't sound like much to more extreme raiders, but we're doing this very casually. And then it was very obvious, the last 2 polls were just kind of garbage. I think we were... The phases all start to look the same after you pull over and over again. I get fatigue, I guess.
Right, and I love Bell. He's like, nope, kind of our captain, in that sense. He's always doing the call-outs, and it's tiresome to do the call-outs for 10 to 20 different rows. We're not using ACT shooting call-outs or whatever. Maybe I should save him some breath, but it's partly memorize the fight. And we're probably at the spot where he needs to stop calling out so we can memorize it better.
Yeah.
And then that way take ownership of what we're doing. We've kicked around the idea of trying to go again this weekend. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but I think we're going to have a really good Tuesday of next week. As long as I think we keep the mentality that Yelta and I have talked about for our group. This is our group, that we're casually having fun and we're going to try the best we can. And we clear it. If not, we'll try again next week. If people get frustrated with holding back progress, that's kind of why we do Tuesday, so they can move on with their progress. In fact, those that are better than Yelta and I in our group have moved on with progress. There are some that have cleared 2 and 3, or close to beating 3. So it's okay. We're not trying to stop anybody else's progress in our group, and we hope everybody understands that we're playing with. And the pugs too. If we ever have to add a pug, we're trying to have fun. And I think that's what Yoshida said.
Taking it seriously.
He really wanted this to be fun. I don't know if it's in the stuff that we've talked about today. We're not really talking any interviews in the news tonight. We've done a lot of interview coverage recently, but I think there was an interview, if we didn't cover it, that Yoshida talks about he kind of dumbed everything down about 15% in this Savage because he wanted it to be more fun.
I heard like 15% less HP or something. Yeah.
He just wanted it to be more fun for people because I think he says Savage isn't really just for that top tier raiders. He wants it to really be accessible for other people. And I'm sure some high tier raiders are like, well, what are you going to give us instead? We'll give you ultimates. I mean, I applaud the ultimate. I think the ultimates are great, and I'm glad that there is content for the tippy top people to bust their heads against. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I just want to have a good time and not get yelled at or kicked.
I don't want to get kicked.
I just want to try to have a good time knowing that I'm doing my best. And I know there's a couple other things that I could do to squeak it out. And it's also learning how to do a dance and hit your buttons at the same time. And some people are going, you should know that by now. But it's, we don't all play at the same level.
Yeah, well, and even after like not playing much, getting back into the game and doing, running an expert roulette, it feels very different button punching wise. I mean, yes, I still, try to bring all of my focus into doing a roulette, but I'm not as, worried about a couple of pieces of gear being, not have perfect materia or not, keeping perfect dot uptime or anything like that. Whereas it's, I don't have to concentrate so hard and stay, hyper laser focused. And that's not for every piece of content, right? In my opinion, that's not what an expert roulette's about. It's about, getting your tomes and getting some practice on jobs and, getting gear to, throw away at the grand company and buy ventures and, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I think there's something else I wanted to say about it, but I can't remember what it is now. But no, that was pretty much my whole week. I ran an expert dungeon last night. That was it. That was the first one I'd done in like 2 weeks, but I may have to get out on the hunt train because I do actually sometimes enjoy that.
It's just so easy to cap.
It's kind of easy to cap. Well, and I also like somebody was talking about maybe a map party. I haven't signed up for anything this week, but
something tomorrow, Thursday.
Is it Thursday? Thursday was maybe a map party. I have to go look because I can't hold any more maps.
Mm.
Well, then I was not around the other weekend, but I know somebody was going to try to get I know somebody was going to try to get EX Primal clears for some people. I don't remember if that ever happened. I was away. So I may have to start setting a couple things up on the thing again. I have been playing WoW Classic pretty hard for a couple weeks. And I have not really hard. I've been like spreading out my playtime on like 4 characters and just kind of, doing it. But there's stuff about old school MMOs I miss, and that's kind of scratching the itch right now. So I don't want to let my 14 progress, suffer too much, but you certainly don't have to play that many hours a week to keep capped and stuff on 14.
I know we're long-winded here for the Let's Shoot the Shit, but that's us. But I want to ask you, Yelta, what did you think, if you've watched it, about the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that came out?
I think my comment was Square Enix does put out a nice trailer, don't they? I know the listeners already know that 7 was not my favorite. I wasn't super into it. I do plan on purchasing it when it comes out and giving it another try. I thought it was gorgeous. The cutscenes looked really, really good. And the what it looks like actual in-game battle scene footage looked quite pleasing too. So, yeah, I would. I'd like to give that game another try. I still think I had baby weariness when it came out. I think I had a couple kids then, and I don't know if it got that, and I like my Final Fantasy games with sword and sorcery, and there's a lot of not swords and sorcery stuff in that one.
7 is very modern.
Some
it felt
modern
like
stuff. It doesn't
New York
really,
City, like present day, sort of, with a little bit of
does not really blow up my skirt for some reason.
Yeah.
But it still didn't feel like 15. 15, no one felt like a white mage, or no one felt like a healer, no one felt like a black, summons was weird. So, now, they just redid 8, didn't they?
Yeah, 8 was a, what do they call those? Because that one, 8's not a remake, it's like a remaster, I think is what 8's called.
But 7's like a whole...
7's a remake. It's going to have a completely different battle system. It's not going to be... turn-based. It's going to be more like 15's battle system, so what I understand.
Yeah. See, and I hate that. I like turn-based fights.
We'll see if they do it better. Hopefully they do it better.
And maybe they'll throw a bone, because there are some action-y battle systems that still also kind of put in extra pauses for slow people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe they'll put in easy mode. Well, like we were talking about Nier. I put that shit on easy mode, and I'm really only in it for the... I'm terrible at action combat games, but I only wanted to play it for the story. So I put that shit... I don't think it's still on easy, but I do have my little bot shooting things for me.
So does he auto shoot for you if you put it on easy? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think if I haven't played it since March, but if I like attack something, I think it starts attacking it automatically. I don't have to hit the button to tell it to do stuff.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, because really, I'm not really doing it for the challenge. I'm doing it for the story.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's one that you can just do a story experience. It gets really dumb when you have a debate. This happened a year ago or whatever when the journalist put out that you've only cheated yourself. It might not even been a year ago. That might have been only 6 months ago. Time flies in the world of memes. But there was that journalist that was, somebody did something easy and they cut some corners, and then some gamer came out and said, you only cheated yourself. You cheated your experience and all that. I can agree and disagree in some regard. It's almost like that. What's toxic or what's not toxic?
Well,
right?
I personally made that choice, right?
Right.
I went into it knowing, and I've a couple times bumped it up to normal mode or whatever, because I do feel like I don't really want to play a game that just plays itself, But I also was playing casually, and I'm not interested in a super challengey hard mode thing. Also knowing it's not my strong suit. But yeah, if I'm cheating into one, I'm only cheating myself too. Right?
But are you? Because you're only in it for the story. So if you're cheating yourself by not doing the hardest battle in the game, are you really cheating yourself because you didn't care about it? You're cheating maybe that guy's ego if he put himself in your body to do it. But
so I've had this conversation with my children, right? I have one son who loves strategy games, but he also will use the cheat codes. And we've discussed the fact that, if you use the cheat codes, that's fine because that's fun for you. But you also don't say, I beat this game on its hardest setting. He's like, no, I would never do that, right? There's a difference. I'm not going to brag that I won Nier and act like I did it. You know what I mean? Hardcore or anything.
I mean, how many of these hardcore gamers had Nintendo Power? You fucking cheated.
I had Nintendo Power.
I had every Nintendo Power back in the day, and there was some stuff that you had to have Nintendo Power. I didn't know there was a credit card in Kid Icarus unless you have Nintendo Power. Somebody's going, what? There's a credit card in Kid Icarus? Yes, there's a credit card in Kid Icarus. You have to have Nintendo Power tell you where it's at. And we did back in the day, for maps of things. Nintendo games were very hard. Did I feel like I cheated myself? Fuck no. I was like, I beat that game. I don't care. I had all the Faxanadu maps. That game was hard as fuck, even with a map. So, I don't care.
Well, and we look stuff up now, right?
Of course we do.
We don't really think much of just opening up a
Nothing's
website
blind,
for the
blind.
wiki. I don't know. Even though I said earlier, I'm enjoying the old school MMO experience of WoW, and I've been trying to do it with reading quest text and going places and whatever, but there's one quest that I'm like, fuck it, I'm looking this one up. It was like a druid, the swimming form quest. I'm like, life is too short for me to try to figure out where this is. I just fucking looked it up. You know, I don't think that invalidates the rest of my joy with the game, but
cancel your sub.
Just cancel my sub. Put up. We need like some sort of T-shirt that's like the scarlet letter, like I'm a fucking lying cheater or something. I don't know. So, what did you think of the 7 trailer?
I like Tifa's breasts and Eris's feet and all of that stuff, and I can't wait for Cloud to be in a dress. So, you know, I'm just like 90% of all the other people who watch that. No, I don't. There's just ridiculousness.
Her boobs are fine. They look great.
Her boobs are fine. There's some ridiculousness out there right now. I'm not even going to address all of that. I thought it looked great. I don't have a super big hype meter for the 7 remake. I liked 7. I didn't beat it back in 97. I had one of those Final Fantasy deleted my save file things happen. Happened to me on Final Fantasy 1. It happened to me on 7. Rented some game and it ended up deleting my save. So I was fed up with it and I skipped it. I went to Tactics, loved Tactics, beat 8, beat 9, beat 10. When I was installing 11, I was like, well, let me play 7 because back then it was like, what, 20 hours or something to install?
Oh, shit, yeah.
So I went back to like, I think I must have had a pre-save or I had started over again or something. This is kind of like my Etrian Odyssey story. So I found a spot where I was probably like in the snowfields or something on Disc 2 or something like that. And I was like, I'll just continue from here, and I ended up beating it. And I beat it, and then I switched over and played Final Fantasy 11 when I got finished loading up. And I enjoyed it. I love Materia. I hope there's some element of the Materia stuff, but I feel like it's going to be watered down. I think that was the most complex and engaging part of Final Fantasy VII was the Materia combos. I know a guy, I grew up with this guy, he will do he will do materia less runs. He will do special runs that he only uses one type of materia. He'll do low-level runs. He loves Final Fantasy VII in and out. The battle system has a lot of variety, and it's great. And I think it's a pretty okay story. I don't think it's the best Final Fantasy story. It's up there, but I think there are some plot holes with Sephiroth and some of that Cloud stuff. And then like the whole when Cloud kind of has his episode and is in a wheelchair and has got in a coma and all that stuff, I sort of lose the plot of all that. You know, it just doesn't resonate with me anymore at that point. So I'm not the hugest big Final Fantasy VII fan. I beat it. I like it well enough. I think Cloud's a good character. I like the cast. As far as the trailer goes, it's beautiful. It is freaking gorgeous. And the Turks are looking good. I'm looking for just more. I just want to see, you know, what's really going on. Maybe a playable demo or something for it. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I think one of the things you're saying is probably another reason I had trouble with it. I think if I have to drop an RPG for any amount of time, it could be a few days or it could be a week, I come back and I've completely lost the thread of where I was. I don't remember what was going on. So I had trouble because like the story didn't make any sense to me, but I think it's because I played it tiny little chunks far apart. So I think I was not following the story very well. So I do plan on picking it up when it releases. But all right, we love lots of games.
Yes, it's not just Final Fantasy XIV over here.
Too long. Didn't read. We love Final Fantasy XIV and lots of other games. All right, listeners, come to the website and shoot the shit with us or tweet us or whatever. The website's www.gtffxiv.com. And come there and we'll accuse you of being a Russian bot.
Hey, but we like our Russian bots.
Russian bots.
They give us some comments. We've had some comments. We're going to read fan mail at the end of the episode, and we've actually had an increase in some fan mail. So keep it up. Just don't cross any lines.
All right, the first round is news. A letter from the producer live, part 54. URL has been updated. I think they just added in the URL. So Saturday, September 14th. Ooh, that's the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's after Friday the 13th, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look for some black cats, walk under some ladders. Yeah, so they've updated the URLs for Twitch, YouTube Live. Oh, Alienware TV is the... Oh, okay.
So we'll be on their channel too, not us personally, but Final Fantasy 14.
And this is going to have... we're talking Yorha Dark Apocalypse. I'm excited. I need to go play that game. I may have to drop everything for the next couple weeks and just play that game.
Sure, Yelta.
Sure. Join us at Tokyo Game Show 2019. That starts like tomorrow. No, yes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
As of this recording, Thursday, September 12th through Sunday, September 15th. They're going to have a Square Enix booth. They're also going to be at the Dell/Alienware booth with various playable content and stage events. There's a link on the site for the Tokyo Game Show 2019 website. They're going to have a stroll with Yoshi P Friday, September 13th from 11:40 p.m. to 12:45 a.m. PDT.
You think he's going to go to any English or European servers during this?
That's going to be...
I doubt it.
He'd be better off going to something that is more at prime time, I would think, for that server anyway. So Yoshi P takes a leisurely stroll through a random world in Final Fantasy XIV. They're expecting huge crowds, and they cannot guarantee space for all attendees to view the event. And you can also watch on YouTube Live or Nico Nico Live. The audio will be in Japanese only. Now, if they show slides, they've always historically been very good about showing the slides in having English subtitles on slides. Sure. Stage events at the Dell/Alienware booth on Saturday the 14th from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. PDT. I don't know what we're looking at here, but that's Yoshi P's little black mage. So
that's the letter from the producer, I think, is we're going to get there.
So yeah, letter from the producer live. So I don't know what they're showing there. There's some like they get something with three things.
Black Mage is getting completely redone. That's what I'm seeing here. Completely changed.
I'm wondering if it's going to be... Is it time for Relic Weapon?
It is getting time for Relic Weapon. Yes, indeedy.
I don't know. That is content to me, right? Not everybody likes Relic Weapon stuff, but I do like it. As much of a pain in the ass as Eureka was sometimes, I did enjoy myself.
I have read something recently. It was either on the official forums or on Reddit, and people were clamoring for more Eureka. They were begging for another Eureka, just with some, with those pyros and further mechanics put in the beginning.
Right. All right, they're doing the letter from the producer live from the Tokyo Game Show. They're going to talk about Yorha Dark Apocalypse, blah, blah, blah. At the Square Enix booth, they're going to do Trial Roulette. That's where you, that's the spin the wheel one, right?
That's right.
You might have to do it shirtless. We're always shirtless here.
Topless runs.
They're going to do the Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome new adventurers to come and create their very first character. At the end of the tour, you can take your character home on a special USB stick. So that's cool. They're going to do a Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV account registration. They're going to be giving away copies of the Starter Edition for free and helping new adventurers create an account and register the game right from the show floor. That's cool. Dell Alienware booth, they're doing Eden's Gate Roulette. They're going to do Eden's Gate, I guess. And they're going to get t-shirts. All right. They apparently are running out of t-shirts. They only have small, medium, large, and extra large. A t-shirt available may be limited. Other activities. They're going to have some artwork and fun photo opportunities featuring Final Fantasy XIV props. We'll be giving out Moogle-themed fans, so be sure to come by. If you're lucky, you might meet a Namazu. That's cool, Namazu. Yes. I love Namazu. Mm-hmm. All right. Announcing the Furnishing Design Contest 2019. These have always given us some nice pieces.
Yes.
All right. 2 years have passed since they've done this before, basically. Let's see. Adventures of the Realm. In recent years, the furnishings that adorn the homesteads of Hydaelyn have undergone something of a renaissance, thanks to no small part of the efforts of well-traveled artisans bringing revolutionary designs from far and wide. However, our patrons have an insatiable hunger for ever more eye-catching and luxurious items with which to impress their guests. We, the Guildmasters of Eorzea, are therefore appealing to those possessed of a refined sense of aesthetics to share with us their most inspired ideas, that we may line our shelves with a fresh selection of products to tantalize our clientele. Whether they be wildly impractical or ignore the laws of physics entirely, it matters not. Pray let your imaginations run rampant. All right, so there's rules. There's some entry requirements. You have to have an active Final Fantasy account at the time of submission and agree to the criteria written below. The entry period has already started. It started September 5th, and it runs till Monday, October 7th. And that's in the morning, guys. So you don't want to wait till you wake up at 8 o'clock on the 7th, and it's already over. All right, the theme is, quite simply, create a furnishing item you would like for your house. The entry categories are any furnishings aside from housing exteriors. The winner selection, they're going to select 100 winning entries. Winner's announcement is planned to be done via the Lodestone in or around October 2019. The prize is a hairstyle. Oh, this is going to cause people to lose their fucking minds.
Oh, I know it.
This is probably crossed some sort of thing. Modern aesthetics strife. Now I want it, but if you play a row, fuck you. Or not a row. If you play a Rothgar, fuck you, right?
Can you get this anywhere else?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
Do we have the strife?
Because that's the first thing I thought you were going to say people were going to lose their fucking minds over, is that you can only get this through a contest.
It's a prize in the contest. I don't know. Now, sometimes they make things available later, and then we cry about that, too.
I just Googled it, and the first thing was an official forum thread that says, what? And so will I be able to buy this through the Mog Station one day? And people are like, probably not. So I'm wondering how many people... This guy doesn't sound too upset, but I bet somebody is.
Well, and this was September 11th last year. There was some FanFest stuff. They had an in-game reward for the art and costume contest, and it was the same hairstyle. So they may run this a lot. And if they're
awarded to participants and winners of certain contests during the 2019 Fan Festival. So this was available to some degree, but it's this has been a previous limited availability.
All right. It has to be an original design, placed by you. There's a whole bunch of entry specifications. Go read them if you're actually interested in doing this. Let's see. There's a submission form on the Square Enix site, and there's literally a form. This isn't just pop something into the official forums. Cool, though.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think it would be nice if we got some exciting, cool new stuff. We need something for our basement. We were thinking of having some sort of magical indoors forest. We could do.
I want that. Okay, I've gone to one other site, and it's a spreadsheet, really. That's FFXIV Hairstyles. Modern Aesthetic Strife, available only to winners of the Art or Costume Contest for Fan Festival 2018 in Las Vegas. Now, they may have spread that out to the others. I don't know if this is 100% correct. But that was the only way you get it, is if you went to the Fan Fest and you won something. It is a unisex hairstyle, which is great. But that is very limited availability. With that being on the tail of the Final Fantasy VII remake, I mean, of course we had all that Final Fantasy VII stuff in Cloud's Motorcycle, but people are really going to want this. People are going to want this.
For sure. All right, Final Fantasy XIV teams up with Pusheen. Is that how you say that?
Pusheen.
I am familiar with Pusheen, but... All right, we recently joined forces with the internet's favorite tabby cat, Pusheen. The lovable cat with the imagination larger than life appeared in a series of comics dressed in several Final Fantasy-inspired outfits, much to the delight of adventurers around the world. Warriors of Light and Darkness won't want to miss the concentration of cuteness in these Final Fantasy XIV comics. Click on each comic to view the animated versions on Pusheen's Instagram. Okay, I haven't clicked these.
So you don't own a Pusheen or anything. We have one.
I don't think so.
Cinna has it. It's just a big fluffy cat. Many people love Pusheen and have stuffed animals or plushies and things of that nature. And so I was familiar with Pusheen only from that category.
Yeah.
But these are adorable. There's some standout cuties, in my opinion. I really like the ninja.
Ninja. I was just going to say that, Ruby. I'm like Ninja. I love Ninja.
The ninja's fantastic. And the Mughal.
Mughal. I'm familiar with Pusheen only from, I think, line stickers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think I've got some line stickers because I thought he was adorable. Yeah, these are cute. Very nice.
Yeah, I want to use them other places, too. I don't like when they restrict things to other, but I don't know where I'd get to use them at. I don't know. I might have to just, like, rip them. Put them in our Discord or something.
Well, one of my greatest sadness, and the only reason I don't like Discord, is I miss line stickers. Mm-hmm. Big stickers. Yes, I've probably bought $100 worth of stickers on there. But, well, and even before that, what was it, QB Chat? There were stickers and there was, you could, like, draw. You used to draw penises. I remember that.
Yelta, would I ever do that? Come on. You got me mixed up with a different Rubicon veil.
I might have you mixed up with a different Rubicon veil. Right. All right. Tales from the Shadows updated. I used a lot of time before recording tonight to read this. The new one is A World Forsaken. And wow. Okay, so like the first one was good, right?
Yeah, really good.
The first one was about Thancred and his youth and whatnot. The second one was kind of cute. It was about Estinian. This third one,
it's about the end of the world.
It's about the end of the world. It's about the end of the world that you've already know that we have, hopefully anyway, averted if you've played through the current storyline. But this is like, because there's not that much in the game lore-wise. There's some notes in one of the in the twinning, right? Mm-hmm. There's a voice recording somewhere. I can't remember if that comes before or after, or whatever. But this is a very interesting account of the end of the world, and it's the story of Black Rose was used and basically caused the 8th Umbral Calamity. I was also tickled by who the reporter of this story was.
Yes,
that was pretty cool.
Took me a minute. I had to read that there was a line in here that talks about the yellow-feathered friend looking around, and I was like, what are you talking about? I had to read this line 3 or 4 times until I was like, who has yellow feathers and would be caught in Agamoro? Probably Alpha, which makes this Omega.
Omega, yeah.
And you can see as the story goes, and they really nail it at the end, that the long years of Omega traveling Hydaelyn and then learning of what Sid surviving the calamity and his work with Nero on trying to save the Warrior of Light. Omega feels human at the end of this. He gives it a comment that he feels like he's changing. He has wakeful eyes is the term he uses here, where he's like opening up. And it makes me think of the Amaro, because we were just talking earlier about how Cinna had done that quest with Seto, and Seto didn't have the words to say things 100 years ago to tell his master, how much he loved him and was proud of him. And now as the words through time passing and the magic taking effect, what have you. And so Omega has a similar kind of growth where he becomes more human by the end of this tale. So it's pretty deep. There's just a lot of layers to this. The imagery of old Sid and old Nero having a cup of coffee for the last time, using the percolator, that thing from
the Boiler Master.
The Boiler Master, that's it, the Boil Master.
So it kills me that those are mobs.
Yeah. And there was another bit in here. Of course, it talks about the death of Wedge. Wedge. Yeah, Wedge dies here, which kind of goes back into the stories that you pick up of doesn't Biggs name his descendants after Wedge?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Something to that effect.
18th of the line or whatever.
There's an honoring of his fallen friend at some point there. So you knew he died, but you get the other half of the story here. And then, Sid, knowing he's going to die and has to leave it to the rest of the Ironworks, and the fact that him and Nero are still buddies. Yeah, I thought it was an incredibly well-written story, and I think it's the best of all three at this point. Well, I'm waiting to see what happens at the very end here with the last story. Hopefully we get a mind blower over here. Maybe it's from Emmett Selk's point of view. Maybe we get a story from the guy I can't pronounce the name, the friend of Emmett.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised how kind of deep and affecting this one was. How just I don't know. This one was way more interesting. The previous one with a stadium, that one kind of seemed frivolous and silly, But this one was good. All right, so looking forward to the fourth one now, huh?
I am.
All right, the Shadowbringers Final Fantasy XIV original soundtrack out now. I pre-ordered this sucker. And then apparently they had trouble processing my planet. They had trouble processing my payment, and then they canceled my pre-order. I'm so sad.
Oh, Yelta.
Oh, but I went and pre-ordered it again yesterday, so it was still technically a pre-order. I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. Anyway, so the highly anticipated Shadowbringers Final Fantasy XIV original soundtrack is now available. In addition to the score to the critically acclaimed Shadowbringers expansion pack, this Blu-ray also contains tracks from 4.4 and 4.5 for a total of over 80 songs. And you get yourself a wind-up Suzaku. And she is amazing. And nice. As is the music, by the way. We're not the only ones who think it's amazing. So we've got the screenshot of Shadowbringers being 10 on this top albums. I don't know what top 10 list this is.
It's got to be someone's cell phone. It's got to be the number one Billboard charts, because Post Malone is number one, and that would be today, because last week Tool was number one when they came out with their album, because all the Taylor Swift fans were mad that she was number two on the Billboard chart. So I know those three. Plus there was that stuff about Lana Del Rey getting criticized by the critic, and she clapped back. Yelta, come on, you got to. Are you on Twitter or what? And so I know this is the top 10. And Shadowbringers number 10. So if you can beat Lana Del Rey, she'll be double salty. And then if you can beat Taylor Swift.
Oh no, I want video game music to just go above anyone who would get cranky about that.
That'd be so at least number 3 slot. I don't know how much Tool will be upset. They probably played Final Fantasy VII back in the day, because Tool's old. It was funny whenever Tool was hitting the charts with their new album, the Taylor Swift fans were upset. They thought it was a new band that had taken over. And I'm learn to swim, learn to swim.
Everywhere.
Push it. Shove it.
Oh
okay.
My God.
My anger is showing. Let's move on.
So I was peeking at Amazon's bestsellers, and the digital albums top paid, Shadowbringers is number 2.
Heyo.
Heyo, right? That ain't nothing to sneeze about. That's awesome.
Congrats, Soken.
Yeah. I am tickled by that. All right, reminders. We want to remind everyone that the Rising ends Tuesday, September 17th at 7:59 a.m. So don't wait till Tuesday because it'll be over by the time you wake up. I did that quest. I've bought a couple of everything, and I did finally went and Googled it. Apparently there are like 18 letters in a bottle. I have not seen all 18 yet.
Nor have I.
Yeah, I've seen 9 or 12, I can't remember. I have them written down somewhere. So they're cute though. Some of them are like, letters from a long time ago in game from like NPCs. Some of them are letters obviously from the dev team. Mhm. I enjoyed all of it pretty much. And yes, it's a little repetitive and whatever. And I do want to ask my Ulf or go do it on an alt to see if you get any of the ones that would be spoilery. You know what I mean? Some of those are like, that's like a huge spoiler for Shadowbringers, and what if my character isn't there yet? I bet you don't get them. They've been careful about that. All right. What's on tap? We have a couple of developers blog. We have Shadowbringing It at PAX West. This is Okiyomi. At their very first PAX West with the community team. Got some screenshot of the exhibits hall. PAX was particularly exciting because we were joined by art team lead Taiko Suzuki and main scenario writer Natsuko Ishikawa, who hosted a panel on Sunday. There was so much going on, and the event went by very quickly. They have some nice art around that booth, guys.
Yep.
They had the classic battle challenge featuring Titania. They've got t-shirts. Some people doing, that's not Titania. That's Ifrit in that picture.
Oh.
I wonder if that was, did they have the random battle thing there
Probably
too?
so, yeah.
Probably so. Lots of Titania shirts. Lots of purple foam swords. Look like a good time. All right. Development panel. They had a development panel. Oh, they just took some pictures of just the empty auditorium. That's a nice looking place. That's like one of those old theaters, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's some, I'm in Minnesota, and there's some nice old theaters in like Minneapolis.
We had one where I grew up. It was Perot Theater, like for H. Ross Perot, and it was a really nice theater. Probably not as big as the Paramount here, but it's with the gold trim, and it's I mean it's old looking, but I like the feel of that. I like that old look.
We always have trouble because we go and those seats are not made for fat chicks. I'm just gonna say that. So you kind of like squeeze your ass into the tiny little 100-year-old chair. But but it looks like they had a nice crowd there. They had a fun looking signing session. I never go to that stuff. But, she's signing a Namazu. So cute.
And we covered a mini interview of theirs last week. So
Yeah.
if you want to go back and check out last week's episode, we did talk about a interview that these two did, and they cover some pretty cool stuff in there.
We have Crystal Exarch with sandwiches. I think she tweeted out one of those pictures.
Yeah, she kept one of the like somebody.
Yeah,
she asked if she could keep a sandwich, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I get to keep this. So nice. All right. Sounds from the Shadows. This is about the soundtrack that is out today, and I don't know how to say your name, hun. The long-awaited Shadowbringers album is out. Now we can take the Raktika Great Wood theme with us anywhere.
Lahi?
Lahi. It is not cheap, though.
No.
That's when, and I bought mine from Square Enix, probably like a moron. But, yeah, with shipping and stuff, I'm happy to have it, though. They pack a lot of stuff on there.
Sure.
They really do.
Yeah, I always buy the physical copy because I just want it. I rip the high-quality MP3s out of it, and away we go. So I'm jamming in the car. It will not be on Spotify yet. Soken tweeted that out today. It is not available yet on Spotify. Give it time. In fact, you got to be dumb to release your album and then put it on Spotify at the same time. You're not going to sell any copies of the album. So they got to sell them, and when those sales dwindle a bit, I'm sure they'll contractually get the songs on the Spotify. But it took them forever to get the other songs on Spotify anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if they say a year from launch before these are available, or 6 months from launch of this album, they'll be available. So just hold your horses. I think Gather Together will be on Spotify before Shadowbringers.
I heard that we are supposed to be on Spotify.
We'll work on that. Faster than Soken, hopefully.
Yeah. So 88 tracks. Total playback time is over 6 hours long. That's a lot of music. And for the bonus content, we've included footage of the Primals performing Locust, as well as the infamous I Play Yanxia I don't know how you say it, automaton performance. Yeah, of A Father's Pride by sound director Soken. I never watched that yet, so I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. The disc also includes the Soken's comment section, as well as notes from Yoshi P and Soken in the booklet. One of my favorite things about getting a physical copy of something is paging through the booklet. I'm not one of those people who will not open their sealed copy, because if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to fucking touch it, because I'm not going to resell it anyway. So I do like to page my dirty little fingers all over that booklet and read I like to read the lyrics, and I like to read any special liner notes, that kind of thing. And you also get an in-game item code for Suzaku. As my husband always puts it, you bought this $200 minion, and you got this free statue. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Oh, and they recently announced the sale date for the Final Fantasy XIV Orchestral Arrangement Album Volume 2, going on sale on September 18th. So, and it's signed Lahi.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
What's on this orchestral arrangement album? So we've got one already. This is volume 2 coming out. The first volume is green. This is a coral, pinkish orange color. Oh, yeah. Let's look at the description. 8 tracks. I love that. It just says in the description when you go to the Square Enix store, 8 tracks
for $25.
But I think I saw the listing somewhere else. I think there was either a tweet or something that had the listing on it.
They always give us a site with all the 3-second or 8-second or whatever clips. So I'm sure does the Japanese site have it? Let me look, because I can't read Japanese, but they have samples. But I can't read any of that. All right. All right. Happy hour. We've got some listener mail. Brandon sent us an email. Great podcast. I just started listening and enjoy it very much. Heard about you guys through other podcasts I listen to on Spotify. Was wondering if you guys had plans on putting your podcast on Spotify also, because I use that primarily. Had to download Stitcher to listen. No biggie. Just wanted to tell you I enjoyed your podcast a lot, so keep up the great work. Yeah, I can't imagine that we couldn't get our shit together and get on Spotify.
I think we can do it, so we'll push for that. But we've been asked before, and for some reason we've just kind of did other things. So we'll recommit to getting on Spotify. We are on some other stuff. I really think if I say the name that will not be spoken, and that is not Voldemort, it is the name of the device behind me that starts with an A and wants to talk to me if I say her name. Oh, yes. That one.
Yes, she knows about us.
She knows about us. You can say, hey, you, and use her name, play Gather Together podcast, and she'll pull it up. I don't know how fast she updates, though. Last time we did it was like an episode back or 2 episodes back. Yeah, so it might take about a week for it to upload or something like that on that side. Otherwise, Stitcher is one. I think we appeared on Bean,
Podbean,
iTunes, of course, all of that. And if any of you listeners have any issues with any of those platforms, or you have additional platforms like Spotify that you want us to be on, give us a shout and then ask us again 6 months later, and we'll do it.
I think there was some problem, wasn't there?
There was something, I don't remember. One of them I did have an issue with. I think actually the one with the person who shall not be named.
Your voice assistant.
My voice assistant. I feel like that's going to turn something on. Voice assistant. Yes, master. That took some issues. I had to go back and forth with somebody on it, and they got it fixed. So we'll work on it for sure.
All right, Ben Radford tweeted us at GTFFXIV. Just heard the episode. No, not a Russian bot. And thanks for reading my comments. Damn autocorrects. Laughing my ass off. But yeah, keep it up, smiley face. Thank you for tweeting us. And thank you also for reaching out. He wanted a invite to the free company. Unfortunately, he's on a different server. But fortunately, he's on the same data center. So hopefully someone gets him... we don't get him into the crossword link shell, and he also joined our Discord, so be fun to keep in contact and maybe get to run some stuff with you soon, Ben. All right, William Riley replied to Twitter. Let's see. I'm just starting at the beginning of this year, and I'm enjoying your show and still a newbie at Final Fantasy XIV. I'm just going into Heavensward. I've only been subscribed for 5 months, but I'm loving the game. Having some drag between 50 and 60 is so slow, and healing a Dark Knight is hard at 45. Yeah, I hear you, man. There were times where Dark Knights were a little squishy, and maybe you're feeling it. Maybe you're feeling it. My advice is, if you can, upgrade your gear. That's about all you can do, right? Read your tooltips and upgrade your gear. That's the best you can be.
Yeah, there's some of those that when you go back now on old jobs and you run through some of those old, the old job content, you know, like you're level 45 or 50 or whatever, those have been reported to be increasingly difficult, at least for summoners, when playing low levels, because the way every expansion, when they reshuffle the abilities and change things, I feel like they have some regard, but not a full regard of the process of getting those abilities. That's an issue with this game, right? Where it's like, I feel like Yoshida's mentality is get to 80 as fast as possible, right? Like, I felt like that in 1.0, like, hey, we're going to let you do the farm parties, just, you know, whatever. We're not going to hurt your experience for sharing experience and having a level 50 carry a level 10 or something. That was a 1.0 thing. And then we've seen how the leveling process, and if you want to compare contrast, look at WoW's leveling process versus this one. 14's doesn't hold a candle to WoW's leveling process, but the kickback is, or the payback, whatever you want to call it, is we can get to end game faster, and we don't. It's just easier to get things up and going. You don't have to sit in Port Juno like in Final Fantasy XI and all that stuff. The point I'm getting to is the old content can sometimes be more difficult now with the shuffling of abilities than a level 80 expert. I think you were talking about that, Yelta. Aurum Vale can feel much harder than any level 80.
Yeah, a lot of some of the dungeons do. Well, and some of it's my own fault, right? You're like queue, because I do lots of roulettes. So you queue in, and you're like, okay, it's a level, I don't know, 36 or 50 or whatever, and you're running along, and I'm on healer, and I'm like, you know, DPSing happily and whatever, and I'm like, oh, tank's starting to get hurt. Well, he can wait because I've got this, you know, off cooldown heal, and then all of a sudden the tank's nearly dead, and I'm like, oh, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that at this level.
Yeah, and William, you're new, you're admitting here. You're not at the point, the salty point, that you're clicking on other people going, what the fuck gear are they wearing? Why is this so hard? What's going on here? You might have been healing a Dark Knight that didn't have proper gear or something like that. You know, I don't know what the circumstance is.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to tell. Sometimes you can have excellent gear. They can even have excellent gear, and either, you know, maybe the DPS takes too long to murder the pack, so you can't keep everybody up, or a tank who doesn't know how to cycle any sort of defensive cooldowns or self-heals. It can be rough out there in Roulette Land. Or any dungeon land. But I'm glad you're enjoying the game. Heavensward was a good patch. And I know we sometimes bash on Stormblood, but there was a lot of good stuff in there too. So I hope you continue to enjoy the game and let us know how it's going. All right, then I think...
Can I give a shout out? Because I forgot this at the beginning. Shout out to Phoenix Down Radio. I was on Phoenix Down Radio recently with Chili, Lunavox, Pixie Nook, returned, and we had a big sit down on the couch. There were 6 of us. In fact, I think Belle and Aphelion came and watched us live audience. What was the first coolest thing to me was I haven't guested on Phoenix Down in some time, and Phoenix Down does a Twitch broadcast. I'll share that with you in just a moment, how to find them. But we were lined up on the couch, and the coolest part was that I did not have to log into my Hyperion character to join them. All I had to do was go to the Aether and click over and swap in, and I was in my full gear and everything, walked into the house, sat down, and was looking good. So it was a fun time. I think it was 2 hours or more. We had a long show. There were tons of giveaways. Friends had won stuff. I think I won something. I'm gonna give it to Senna. It was just a lot of fun stuff, and a lot of the topics we talked about on this episode we covered over there as well. So if you're interested in listening to Phoenix Down Radio, you can go to their twitch.tv channel, and that's /Phoenix Down Radio. Again, www.twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. Klaus and the gang will bring it to you. It's a great show, a great podcast, and you can catch them on Spotify and all that other stuff too. They're all over the place too, so go check them out.
I was so bummed I couldn't make it, but I was actually doing in real life stuff with in real life people, so you gotta do that once in a while.
You do. You gotta get out and spend time with the family.
Yeah, and it was couples board gaming with drinks.
Oh, that's
fun. What we were doing. So my husband and I, my sister, and my brother-in-law played a bunch of board games and had some cocktails.
I should have gotten drunk. That's the one thing I didn't do on this episode. I should have been drunk, but it was good.
Well, and you make such a good point, because I think the last time I was on Phoenix Down Radio, it might have been near Christmas time last year. And I had rolled a character over there, and, of course I can teleport to the house and stuff, but it was like I couldn't find anything to wear, because I was a low-level character, didn't have anything on me, didn't have any good hair, didn't have the hairstyle I usually rock, so I do look forward to next time we get to be on. We should have him on, too. Chili, too. It's been a while since we had Chili.
Mm-hmm.
So, except some guests on and chit-chat and hang out and stuff. His is fun because it's live streaming, and you're not actually playing usually, so you're not distracted by trying to dodge shit or whatever, and you could interact with the listeners on Twitch, the viewers. That's always fun.
And you can come watch it live if you're on the Hyperion server.
Mm-hmm. All right, then I guess it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, GTFFXIV.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button, and thank you all who do. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please give us a rating wherever you listen to us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.